We are live. Welcome, everyone, to the LFC Toronto show. We got a pretty cool episode here, so you're going to want to keep it locked. Before anything, obviously, we got to play the intro, so let's roll. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the LFC Toronto show. Pretty weird. We don't usually record on Friday, but like I said in that mini intro there, we've got a pretty cool lineup of guests. We were originally calling this, we called it on the thumbnail, I called it the Ladies of LFC Toronto, but I'm super excited about this because number one, they were on time. We always have someone from the boys who's always like, texting late saying I'm going to be a couple of minutes late or right at time. We actually started on time, so we're already ahead of the lads. Not surprising at all, but there you go. So before I do anything else, let me bring my co-hosts for this episode onto the stage. I think you all know all of them, but before anything else, Evie, who is the general secretary on our exec team. And then we have two of our favorite members, Donna 21LFC on Instagram, and also AJ. Folks, welcome to the show. We've been talking about this for way too long. I've already promised you all I'm going to do much less of the talking today. How is everyone doing? I'm going to have to lead a couple of things. So, Evie, you can start with how you're doing. How's your day going?
Well, I'm glad it's Friday and I've started with the obligatory wine. I can't wait for the weekend. It's been a crazy week. Can't really fathom what's happened since Sunday for the rest of this week. Monday was a blur. So
Why?
I'm feeling good.
Why was
I don't
Monday a
know.
blur?
I think there might have been a final or something on Sunday.
Yeah.
Can't quite recall. But yeah, it's been a good week, and I'm just looking forward to the game tomorrow. As always, can't wait.
Amazing. And Donna, welcome back to the show. If anyone wants to check out Donna's origin story from how she became a Liverpool fan, that's episode 16 on our YouTube. But you've been on the show before, so we'll skip to how are you doing right now? How's everything going? How's your week? How are things?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for having me on. I'm glad it's Friday, like Evie says. I haven't started the drinking yet. It's been a mad week, but don't worry, it's coming. Yeah, I'm still buzzing, to be honest, from Sunday. What a mad game that was, right? And the kids came out to play, and oh my goodness. And then, of course, midweek again, when you think you can't get enough of those kids, then they surprise you. So I'm really excited. I'm excited for tomorrow. I'm excited for next week and for the rest of the season, to be honest. We're still number one in the league. So, yes, up the Reds.
Well, I mean, it's almost like it was planned, but we do have a banner for that, Donna. There's something on top. Scrolling across the bottom. We got it. We got to milk it. We got to milk it while it's still happening. Enjoy it while it's still on top. Liverpool, top of the league. That brings us on to a newcomer onto the show, which is AJ. So AJ, we are going to get into your origin story today. So we haven't had a new guest on for a while. So I will remind everyone who's watching what the origin story is. So it's basically, how did you become a Liverpool fan? First memory, first match, favorite player growing up, anything that's like going to make us feel a little bit nostalgic, and then just give us a bit of a heads up as to who AJ is as the Liverpool fan.
Yeah. How did I become a Liverpool fan? It makes it sound like it was a choice. I was born to two Liverpool fans in Liverpool. I really had no choice in it. And I actually text my mum and my dad and my uncle on Sunday and said, thank God we're Liverpool fans. Like, it was like my first thing after we won, right? Is like, you raised me well, you raised me to be a Red, and I'm so happy about it. I grew up in Liverpool to a family of massive football fans, and started going the game with my dad and my uncle and my brother, and our extended family from a pretty young age, really. And it's crazy, like, seeing Anfield now and how massive everything is. it feels now like it did when I was a kid. You know, when you're a kid and everything feels massive. And now I feel like I'm kind of a kid again, because like the main stand's huge, Anfield Road End's huge now. Like it's spring. It was last time I was at Anfield, it was making me feel like that probably 8-year-old kid again that went to the match for the first time, which was quite fun. So yeah, being a huge Liverpool fan, grew up there, grew up being a fan. My first job in Liverpool was in a dry cleaners, and some of our clients were like Steven Gerrard and Jamie Carragher and Glenn Johnson. So that was amazing as like a 15-year-old girl after school going to work in the dry cleaners and like cleaning Glenn Johnson's undies was like not a thing I ever expected to do. So that was
Can't be worse jobs, AJ. There's worse jobs.
Right, exactly. Yeah, definitely. So and then have lived in a number of places around Europe and around the world, and have obviously basically used LFC to make friends everywhere I've been. Is the easiest way to make friends, I think, is if you've got that in common. You can you always have something, right, and you have like just shared values that come with being a Red as well. So yeah, it's treated me well.
Well, we became friends because of Divock and a last-minute goal against Wolves
exactly.
in the 2021-22 season. So it definitely works.
Special memories.
So tell us, so Evie used to be a Annie Road girl, growing, like where did you used to sit? Was it regular or all over the place?
Yeah, so we sit in the lower centenary, as I will always call it, but is officially
so not the
Kenny Dalglish. The Kenny Dalglish stand. So we're on row 22, seats 82 to 86. So if anyone's around, keep an eye out for us. That's where me and my dad, my brother, my uncles will be in those seats. It's good spot, like opposite, more like close-ish to the halfway line, opposite obviously the bench and the tunnel and stuff. So there's been some good goals. We only, from our seats, we only really see Scream as well, because the angle of it makes it like an impressive finish. You're sort of like on the diagonal of the box. So we've been going there, and that's where we sit, and we kind of get to know all the characters around us, and we don't actually know any of their names, but we feel like they're part of our family because we've seen them so much over the years. So
very, very cool. And any cult heroes stand out? Obviously, we've all done the Stevies, the John Barneses, everyone, but anyone who coming up, you're like, that guy doesn't get enough love.
It's interesting. I probably would have said like Sammy Hoopier. I don't think he gets as much like probably respect as maybe he should have done. But then I was recently watching the Emil Heskey pod, like the LFC one, and like when you like some of the goals that he scored, and he obviously doesn't get like the glory of a Owen or a Fowler or a Torres or any of them, but he's such a smart, intelligent footballer. And when I went back and like watched some of his appearances, I was like, he's probably one of the most underrated.
That's a very, very good shout, and an original shout, because we've heard Dirk Kuyt a couple of times. There's a few people who that they're not in that all-time legend list, and there's been a couple of people who have jumped on and been like, "Who's your favorite player?" Steven Gerrard. Like, no, you can't say that one. Dirk Kuyt gets a couple of mentions. Luis Garcia, but that's a new one. We haven't had Heskey before.
So the other one would be the opposite end of the pitch. I played a lot of field hockey as a kid and was a goalkeeper, so I always gravitated to goalkeepers as well.
Sure.
So Pepe Reina was the shirt I always had.
Top player.
Class, right? Absolutely.
And still playing for Villarreal, which is
crazy,
like
isn't it?
mad. Donna, you've been back to the UK recently. You were at the away game against Arsenal. Tell us about that experience.
Oh my goodness. So I've been a supporter for almost 40 years, and it was my first time going to an away match. I didn't actually go for the match, but I ended up getting a ticket last minute and paid a lot of money for it.
Of course.
I had to sit in the home stand. Oh my goodness, it was awful. When Liverpool scored the one goal, well, it was an own goal by Gabriel, I think it was, and I had to watch from afar my people, celebrating, and I'm just sitting there, But then, of course, it got worse from there, downhill from there. It just it wasn't a good away match to go to. But
Mhm.
and just think that Arsenal, like, they copied us most of our chants and stuff. And but you know what? I'm glad I went. I witnessed it for the first time, and what better place to go than the Emirates? I just wish it was a better outcome.
Absolutely. And I agree with you. So I've been to the Emirates twice and sat in the Arsenal end, and I've never seen us win. So all of those times we've been winning in between, I think we're all jinxing it, to be honest. Let's not do that moving forward. So I went to the first ever one, and Henri decimated us, and it was 2-0.
Oh.
And then I went in 2017 and it was 3-3, and we were miles better than them. It was like Wenger's last season. It was Coutinho was still that he was just like the December before the January before he sold. And like I went with my friend who's also like a London Arsenal fan, and like I was like talking so much smack before it, and like we were so fragile at the back. That's obviously right before Virgil signs.
Yeah.
And we conceded 3 goals, and we should have scored like 5 that game.
Yeah.
So maybe we're jinxing it, and maybe we just all need to stay away from the Emirates. And
maybe.
and
Well,
get
our
that
boys
moving.
didn't show up on the day, right? So I mean,
Yeah.
otherwise it would have been a different story, because they were the
Absolutely.
favorites going into that game. But unfortunately, on the day they didn't turn up, and it was just like, it wasn't good to
Yeah.
watch.
Very much so. Before I go and just have a bit of a chat with Evie, there's loads of comments coming in on the YouTube live. So we've had Sultan, who's already probably lining up for next weekend, let's just say. So he's saying Donna is always right, and a huge AJ. That's just how I'm reading it. And then our boy Dan is like getting a bit of Dan's Fernandez. Donna is always right. Sultan saying I was surprised how loud Emirates was when I went once. It's not been traditionally, though. This is, in all credit, this is something Arteta has activated. Like, he can get all of the flack and he can get all of the pelters that he gets from opposition fan base, but he has brought passion to a stadium that was flailing, to be honest with you, with the whole Wenger in, Wenger out, then Emery. Like, people didn't know what to do. And then, like, that excitable nature that Arteta has very much brought or awakened a passion inside Arsenal. So credit him for that. I don't think he's winning shit this year, but anyway, we can talk about that
I agree.
another time.
They're not winning the league because we are.
Yeah, absolutely. And Evie, I think you can kick us off with some of the updates from the club side, because obviously you are integral to everything we do, keeping us moving. Obviously, there's so much cool stuff coming. There's like Red Days and Tour, and like, just give us a bit of an overview as to the craziness of the role you play, but also how annoying it is working with us on a daily basis. Let's just say that for sure.
Not annoying. It is like a dream team, and it's the best unpaid job I've ever had. So I absolutely adore it. Yeah, we've got some amazing stuff coming up in March. I mean, just going on where we are right now with top of the league, we just won a bit of silver. We're still in the FA Cup. Europa kicks off again next week, and then we've got City a week on Sunday, which is at Anfield as well. I cannot wait. I cannot wait for that game. Cannot wait.
Yeah.
And that's obviously going to be a red day at both pubs, at the Elephant and Castle and the Sly Fox as well. And then we've got Man United, like at
as if we needed them again. Yeah.
Yeah. Two Grey Skull aways. But again, that's going like literally a week later. So, and that's on St. Patrick's Day as well. So we've got a few surprises for as people are coming in on St. Patrick's Day at the Elephant and Castle. So we've got some things going to be pretty cool coming up as well. And then we've got, I don't know, it's like 3 days. There's like a 3-day gap and then something else, 3-day gap and something else.
Well, right after that is Tour.
Yeah, then we've got Anfield Wrap on Friday, 3 weeks today. Yeah. The guys are coming over. I text Gibbo this morning and said, how excited are you? And he just did loads of dancey emojis. Don't know what that means. Don't mean anything with Gibbo. Might be stripping off again mid-pub to put on another t-shirt. So yeah, I mean, that's going to be great because it's going to be a little bit more intimate than the Loose Moose last year as well.
Sure.
Because we're at the Elephant and Castle again for that. And the guys have made it specifically a Friday night. As part of their whole planning, they wanted us to be a weekend. because there's going to be a lot of fun after that night as well with those guys. But if you haven't got your tickets, we are literally single digits for the Anfield Wrap. Get them now, because once they're gone, and that's it.
Yeah, and as normal, we can't do any favors. Okay, so with all of that said, let's start looking a little bit back at the football. So I'm going to come back to AJ on the glory that was Sunday. So we'll start with you. So what we'll do is we'll do AJ and Donna for Sunday, and then we'll do Donna and Evie for Wednesday, and then we'll do a little bit of a look forward to tomorrow as well. So AJ, kick us off with Liverpool versus Chelsea. Any overarching thoughts? Anything you've seen in the coverage afterwards? Anything you saw in the game? Anything you're thinking that you need to share with the world about the game last weekend?
The thing I still don't understand is how Harvey Elliott walked up the stairs to get his medal. Like, he was absolutely done, wasn't he? Like, he was toast by the end of it. And like the players that played the full game and like put an absolute shift in. And it's mad. Like, you look at like Kwanzaa and players like that, Elliot to some extent as well, and now you're like, oh yeah, like them seasoned pros, and they're still kids, and they're like now the seasoned pros in the team, and the new kids are coming through, and it's super interesting. I mean, that photo afterwards of the academy boys, I think Jones was missing from it, but it was still like an amazing photo to see the talent that's coming through. And I know a bunch of people said it already this week, but the pride in we're doing it the right way, and not, whatever happened, like whatever the outcome of it was, if it goes to pens and it's a bit of a lottery and what have you, but just that idea of like when it went to extra time, who we had on the pitch, I think whatever the outcome, we would have all just been dead proud to be Reds that day. So I think that was special. I mean, the crowd sounded insane, right? That LA was just like, exactly. Oh my God, like that was incredible. Fucking VAR, like sorry for the swears, but like,
oh no, it's all good. This is on YouTube, not for the kids, so it's all good.
Yeah.
But it's a joke, isn't it? And then the United goal against Forest, exactly the same scenario, doesn't even get pulled.
Yeah,
very much so.
Sorry.
No, it's like one of those, isn't it, where like we won, so we just forget about it. But at the same time, in that moment, I was going mad about that. Yeah, I don't know, Donna. Right. What are you reckoning about last week?
Well, you actually hit the head on the nail on the head with in regards to the refereeing. He was awful. I mean, some of the calls that he made against us was just awful. And I'm thinking, at first I thought maybe he forgot to bring his cards, because Chelsea, they did so many things wrong, and no cards at all. The first card was against when Chilwell was picking on our kid, Bradley. And I think that was disgusting. If I was there, I'd just get up out of my seat and go punch him in the face. I don't promote violence, but don't pick on the kids. Pick on somebody like Big Verge or Konami, whatever, and they'll show him something. But yeah, no, the game was amazing. I just thought, oh my God, here we go. I thought we would have killed it already. Now going into extra time or penalty, and then it started looking like, oh, here we go again, a repeat of 2 years ago. But thankfully, we didn't get that far. Poch wanted penalties, but he didn't get his wish. And of course, the better team won on the night. So I'm still buzzing. I couldn't believe it. I think at first I was really tense. The blood pressure was up and I was just going crazy. I mean, I was sitting next to Evie, well across from Evie, and I was just like, I need a drink, and then I thought, okay, because I just needed to calm my nerves, but it got better, it got better. And then as soon as we won, I just started the drinking, but it was an intense game to begin with, but I'm glad of the outcome. Yeah. It's funny, because Jurgen came on in 2016, I think, or 2015. And this first one was the Carabao Cup. Sadly, we lost to City. But how ironic that his last, one of his last matches is a Carabao Cup, and here we won it. So it's just, and then we have 3 more to go. So I think it's written in the stars that something good is going to come out of this season.
And you,
So,
Donna, you also have to just tell us about how incredible it is to see Captain Virgil rising, because he had so many detractors last year. There was a lot of people who were genuinely just like, he can't get back to that level that he was at, because coming back from an ACL is very difficult. Particularly, he had looked like he had the weight of the world on his shoulders, and now here he is winning cup finals on his own, like Steven Gerrard, but also at the same time doing the other side of captaincy that people would argue that Gerrard didn't have, which was he's got the leading by doing, leading by example, but he's also the person who now has taken over from Henderson as the voice on the pitch.
Yeah, and you know what? He seems like he's been doing it forever, being our captain, and he just fits right into the role. But he was boss on Sunday. I mean, he was outstanding, just like Kellier. I think those two for me stand out as well. And but yeah, of course, they had the man of the match had to go to Big Verge, and rightfully so. But I think, Keller deserves that as well. But Verge, he had a great game, and he was everywhere, and I think the few times I remember when he made some amazing saves, so good for him.
Yeah. The other thing about Virgil is they just don't want it with him. Like I've never seen a defender who has that impact on attackers. Like, like all of our opposition fanboys are, they go nuts over like the Rios and the Vidiches and the Tony Adams and who are all great world-class or international class players, but I've never seen anyone have this impact where a forward's like running full speed and they're like, nah, I'm not doing this. Like we saw like Michael Owen and some of our pacey forwards would take on anyone, like Torres with Vidic, Owen versus like Tony Adams or John Terry, like it's always like there was always those like, let's go at them. But Virgil, like, and Kunku and all these other guys, Sterling, they're just like, nah, I'm not doing this.
the only person was Pickford. He's the only one who's ever took him out.
Yeah.
Do you know, I think that's like a super interesting point though that you and Azaz both just kind of touched on is I think it's amazing given our current situation where we've got 12 of our first team squad out injured. We also have loads of players who have been injured, who have had career-threatening injuries, who are back. Like Gomez has had the worst injury luck, and this season has looked really good. Like Elliott, for a young player, has had horrendous injuries. Like Verge obviously has had injuries as well. So I feel like it's a weird thing to say, maybe, but I feel like all those players who are on the treatment bench, who are on the sidelines at the moment, at least they know there's empathy within the dressing room probably about everyone else has literally been there as well, right? They've had those horrible injuries and they've come back from it. And like Gomez, Elliott's getting back there, like Verge is better, as good as they were in their prime before their injuries. So hopefully that gives us some positivity as well for the players that are going to come back.
Yeah, it's a great point. I think the injuries over the last couple of years have been definitely detrimental. I mean, that defending the title, we were top of the league before Virgil, Matip, and then Gomez all went down 1, 2, 3. So clearly, there's some unfinished business, which Donna's talking about, which could be glorious. And then, so Evie, let's go to Wednesday now. So if it wasn't enough to win the Carabao Cup with the kids, we decided, well, I don't even know if there was a choice, but it looked like Szoboszlai and at least Nunes were both fit on Sunday, especially the way they were celebrating. But team sheet comes out, Anfield lights, Southampton, and none of the people are in the team. Yeah. So Joe Gomez's new role, number 6. Virgil played, Elliott played 90 or that, he played a lot of minutes again. And then we had, Kumas and Dans and Clark all coming in and making their impact as well. How proud were you of that one? Because that was unique as well.
Just for the 3 goals to be scored by the call of the kids, the Clock kids, the KK, was just immense. And for Kumas to get that on his debut as well, and it was a beautiful goal. And it was a slight deflection, but it was going in anyway. But to do that, and he did it, in front of the Yanni Road when he scored. And then for Dan to get the 2 at the Cop down the other end and the celebration from it, like all the memes that have just come out in the last few days and the pictures are just fantastic. Because you looked at that score, the team sheet going in, you're like, oh my God, there's like, even the bench, I was like, we're light as that we've ever been. And Southampton came out and played really well. First 20 minutes or something, they had us on the hook. Kelleher made a couple of amazing saves. I'm so glad he was in again for Wednesday. There were some people saying, no, we should be resting him. Because if he goes out, then, all we've got is Adrian, and that's it. And I was going, no, keep him going. He's got that hype. He's got that vibe. He's got the match minutes in right now. And that kid just has massive stones. It's like he does not get flaked out by anything at all. Like, he is just a man, super cool character. But for us to win in that way with when we called the kids on Wednesday and then that young 16-year-old coming on, oh my God, I was like, looks like someone's just made him his sandwiches and he's just ran onto the pitch. He's just such a young kid. And I was just so proud, so proud. I mean, Southampton, they're battling to get back up into the Premiership. They're up there with Leicester, and I think they're 3rd or 4th right now. They're nothing to be sniffed at. And we did the job. Like, second, I don't know what happens at half time, but we come out. I don't know if we just wear teams down in that first half and that first 15 minutes after. We just knackered them out and they just run out of legs. And we just go into like hyperdrive. But again, few chances at the end. Kelleher's still in there and pulling off some amazing stuff. I thought we did great. And I made up. Bring on United. Come on. Don't care.
Yeah. Donna, do you reckon the kids will be going to Old Trafford, or do you think it'll be back to the grown folk at that point?
Well, we're not sure because definitely the kids will be going. Whether they'll get like how many minutes they'll get, for sure their club is going to have them on the relative, but we're not sure about Salah when he's coming back or Soboslai. I'm not sure, but definitely the kids, they need a run in there, United are not doing very well anyway. So I'm not worried about United. First we need to take care of City first, and then we go on to when we go on to United. But I just thought, Evie mentioned about Wednesday with the kids. But also the Luton game, that was something we didn't start out right. Luton was fighting for their lives, and but then halftime came and we just came out just full force, and it was incredible to watch. I know we didn't speak about it, the Luton game, but it was just incredible. Like, I don't know if you guys remember watching it.
Yeah.
But they were like, Luton were playing fantastic. They scored the goal. They scored the first goal as well. We were like, what the hell's going on here? And I said, you know what? We just need to keep running them ragged. Like, we don't play a sit-back game. We'll run them ragged. As soon as we get one goal in, their head's going to go down. All their puff is going to go out of them. And then it was like, bang, 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 bang after that.
But it's the goal too, is how they score it too, right? It's not just like a boring goal. It's like, I think the second goal, it was by Harvey Elliott, and I can't remember who the assist was, but that was incredible, and I'm thinking, wow, and he tried to do that against in the Carabao Cup too, but unfortunately it didn't go according to plan, but like amazing. We're playing some really great footballs, whether it's the OGs or the kids. I'm just loving it. Klopp is doing wonders for us right now. It's just, we're not going to talk about him leaving because that's something that we don't want to talk about. But my goodness, I'm just loving watching Liverpool play every day. Bring it on.
Well, great segue. It's almost like you planned that, because we now can start looking forward to tomorrow. Which is Nottingham Forest versus Liverpool. Kickoffs at 10 a.m. Roll call, is everyone going to be at Elephant and Castle?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. So 3 out of 4. It's not too bad. I'm going to come back to AJ. Before I do, though, there's just a couple of comments I need to read out. So apparently Dan Fernandez is everybody's fan. He's AJ's biggest fan. And then he's Evie's biggest fan, Greg, and Donna's biggest fan. Sultan says to me, Azaz, how would you feel if a giant showed up in the box when you are defending a corner? I assume that's at the Virgil comment before. And then Dan's like, but our rivals consider third that year as the worst defense ever. So we're talking about the year when all of our players were out. He also says those sandwiches are working. Did somebody talk about sandwiches? Maybe they did.
Evie said that kid looked like he'd just been given his
It's just like,
okay.
just looked like he'd had his butties from her mum. She's like, right, get a run on the pitch now. I was like,
fair. That's a good point. Jake, the president, is look at these lovelies. You too, Zazu. I was included in the original lovelies, mate. Like, you don't need to single me out. Just playing. And then Sultan says, I'd be Klopp's housekeeper for free if it would make him stay. I mean, Bayern drew today, by the way. So we might be getting someone really special in to replace him too. So, as much as nobody wants Klopp to go, we can't not show the next guy as much love as he deserves, particularly if it's the one guy we all want. And then also, just so you folks on screen know, Dan sent me a private message, which is, man, this show is pure fire, natural, seriously, great analysis and flow. Chemistry is proper. So, hey, Dan, watch your back. We might be changing shit up here. But yeah, back to tomorrow. So AJ, what do you think of the team? Like, how do you feel in terms of bringing a few players back, or is it time to like stick with what we've got because it seems to be winning? I've heard mixed things. I've heard some people being like, well, it's got to run out at some point. And I actually think Forest at home, like at their home, so Forest away from us, for us, is very dangerous.
Yeah.
For sure, yeah. I mean, you don't want people to get carried away, right, and start making like illogical decisions based purely on emotion. You want to kind of keep it in check at the balance. For me, I mean, what these guys were just saying, right? It's fun to watch Liverpool at the moment. Like, regardless, I know it's hard to separate the fun from the results sometimes, and like maybe we saw that last season, but it's dead fun, and the kids look like they're enjoying it, and it is that classic thing of, the more you enjoy it, the better you're going to do at it. And they've got that freedom to play. So I kind of hope, regardless of the team, that they come out with that spirit and that same kind of attitude that we've had for the past week. I think there will be some of the more like senior pros that come back into it. I think I think they'll play. The question is, does he start with the young ones and then bring the seniors on? Or does he do it the other way and start with the experience and then give the youth a run out later on? I mean, the academy kids, they're really not used to playing at this intensity, but they're also not used to playing this many games in this short space of time. So I do think, as much as we kind of, at least I naturally think, oh, they're young, they're fresh, like they're not going to get tired. Like, they probably actually are going to get more tired than we might think that they are.
Yeah, good point. And I think anyone to look out for on their side, anyone, I'm throwing this open out there. I won't say any names, but like, I feel like they've got some dangerous players who are in decent form at the moment.
We're on Forest or
on Forest, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. It's not going to be an easy game, but tomorrow, and they know that we're fighting for the title, and they're also fighting to stay up as well, right? So I just think that, and AJ, I think you touched on it a little bit. The kids, everybody wants to play right now. They're doing so well when they come on. They see their little their mates are scoring, so everyone wants to be like Dan's or Bradley or even McConnell or Pumas, right? So they want to play, and I think Klopp is going to be watching them in training and see, and for sure tomorrow they're going to play. Whether they start or not, I'm not sure, but yeah. But it's going to be a tough game going to Forest tomorrow. But it's just as long as we keep our heads in the game and go for it in the beginning and don't wait till because for some reason we always let them score first, the opponent score first, and then we come back in second half when you just need to go for it.
I have no idea what their squad's like in terms of injuries and who play. Is Origi going to play? I mean,
I don't know if Origi's going to play, because he certainly wasn't there on Wednesday against Man U, where they were actually kind of unlucky to lose that game. But I do think Gibbs, White, and Alanga are dangerous players. Like, I feel like if we didn't have this crop of young, I don't want to buy anyone at the moment. It's funny, I was just having a chat to one of my brother's friends about like transfers, and I was just like, just stop talking about transfers. Like, as in right now, we've got like, if everyone's fit, we've got like 35 players to play for. Like, I love the kids, so I don't really I don't really like talking about transfers, but I've always been one who's like wants to cherry pick the best players from the teams that go down. And Forest have got a major question mark over their head coming up because it looks like they're going to be docked points as well. And Alanga's a Man U boy, but he's a good player. And then Gibbs White is like top attacking midfielder for like an English talent. Like I do rate him. So those two will play. It'd be amazing if Divock played, but I just feel like he's coasting at the moment. But whatever, it's all good. We can't be mad at Divock. Evie, so for tomorrow, it's 9 a.m. doors open, 10 a.m. start. We're at both Sly Fox and Elephant and Castle. We, of course, will be at Elephant and Castle. Any thoughts in terms of like I reckon it's gonna be busy from now on moving forward.
Every single game, like even a game Southampton on a Wednesday, 3:00, we had like 90 people there in the Elephant and Castle. So it's almost becoming even the 7:30 games are still getting big crowds in as well. It's like just a guarantee that it's just going to be a busy day. I mean, it's not your red days, but you're still going to get a lot of people in there. But everyone's energy is like through the roof right now. We're all feeling good. We want to be part of this last dance, like with Jurgen, for the next couple of months, which I still haven't reconciled with yet. But so I'm just sort of like moving on from that. But I think I was watching a conference this morning, a press conference with Jurgen, and he's saying, the only person who's a definite no is Mo. Like he's the only person who's a definite no right now. And don't forget, we've got Europa game next Thursday as well, away from home. First leg away. So I think we'll get a mix of a team tomorrow, but he even says he doesn't even know. We can't even predict his lineup until the morning. It's like because he's dealing with so many different sort of cogs and facets right now of who's available and who's got the match minutes, who is truly fit, who do you not want to put on the pitch unless we desperately need him in like the last 10 minutes. But we've got so many options right now. Like it's a real feel good factor.
Yeah,
very much so. I'm just checking the comments out, which is what I'm smiling at. Sorry, AJ, you go. I can always come back to the comments.
No. All I was going to say is I think that's going to be the balance, right? These kids have had a taste of. I mean, I think 2 or 3 of them have come out and said Sunday was the best. Like the week before was the best day of their life. Sunday was the best day of their life, and then Wednesday was the best day of their life. And it is going to be super important. That's not going to continue to happen, right? Like they might play, but it's not going to continue to be the best day of their life every time they do it. Or they might not play. And so when these kids aren't in their first team regularly, and when they do have to go back and play for the academy because the other players are going to come back, like how they manage that transition and keep their confidence up, like after the best period of their life, I think is going to be super interesting. I mean, we have the manager to do it, and I think we have the academy like leadership to do it, but it's kind of the downside of where we are, right? Is that someone's going to have to manage that for them.
But if you look at like Connor Bradley coming in for Trent, and then what a headache he's got now because Connor Bradley's playing his socks off. Yeah. But he's a versatile player. You can put him anywhere on that pitch, and so is Trent.
Yeah.
So we're in a lucky position even with all these injuries that we have.
Yeah. Bradley is like an absolute ledge, isn't he? He's got to be in the starting 11.
I love him. I love that kid.
Yeah.
So Sultan asks if I'm wearing a City jersey, as if like it's Uruguay and like Darwin is what this kit is. Nah, mate, like never, ever, ever, ever. Let's see what else is happening over here. Just some bants. Who is fit for the weekend? These 3 ladies are. Yeah, guys, you're getting a bit of a fan club.
I want to say something because it's good that you have us on the panel today, and because next Friday, a week from today, is International Women's Day, so you're a head start of that. So
it is,
Hats off to doing this.
Very much so. Well, I mean, we've been talking about this for a while. So, I mean, maybe next Friday we'll do it all over again. Why not? Let's just end the week. Because actually, you know what? Let's just commit to it. Let's just do this again next Friday because next Sunday is OLSC Toronto Red Day. So regardless of if the crew do a show in the middle of the week, we should definitely jump on again. Because we're almost wrapping up now anyway, and this has been amazing fun, and thank
I
you
just
all for
want to
taking the time.
Yeah, I just want to say though, if we do it next Friday, how cool would that be? Because I'll be at Anfield, and one of the
Oh.
persons that I'm looking forward to meeting is Missy Bolker, and so who knows? Maybe I'll even get her on. We're still
Wow.
thinking. Just
Okay. I think this can work.
that's
It would
just
be
way too
late
much,
though.
but I'm just saying.
So just so you know, the platform that we use, you can join on your phone. So
Yeah,
if it's possible, like you should definitely
go
do
from
that.
there.
But that's amazing. Yeah, because of course, through OLSC Toronto, Donna did secure a ticket to the game. So you will be heading there, which is super exciting. And we
And
will
I
be
will
heading to
also
the
be
Red Day.
attending the Live a Girls event. So I'm trying every year. I've been trying to get women from here or LFC women to go with me and represent Toronto. Right now, I'm representing Canada, more so Toronto than anything else. And I'm trying. So unfortunately, this year it falls in March break. So because Tony was up for it, but now, it's March break. So unfortunately, she had to decline. But Evie, AJ, I've been talking to you on Evie, you know.
Mate, I've been planning to come, but then there's a few other reasons to go back to Liverpool this year, isn't there? There's definitely
Yes.
a trophy parade now. If money was no object, I'd be there. I'd be there with you. But
It's a lot going on this year, yeah. But next year, guys, Evie.
All right, I'll commit to it next year.
AJ,
There we go.
calling you guys out now.
I love it.
We need you to represent Toronto, so it's a big platform. It started out in Norway and it's huge.
Yeah.
I've been going since the inception in Anfield. So it started like 4 years ago. I've only missed it, and that was last year. And I regret it so much because I would have been at that United game 7-0. So it just, I know. So this year I'm actually going, and it's on International Women's Day. So I'm looking forward to it.
That's super cool. And for next year, if we do get multiple people going from Toronto, we'll make a special OLSC Toronto Ladies shirt. So I can commit to that. Folks, this has been incredible. You've seen the energy on our comments as well. We don't usually get this much feedback. So whenever you do, if you decide to watch this back, please watch it with the chat on, because it's been super cool watching that. And otherwise, I'm sure I'll see a couple of you this weekend, maybe Donna too. If I don't see Donna tomorrow, then I guess it'll be after the City game. So we'll figure that bit out. But otherwise, yeah, we have to do this again. Particularly, it wasn't ever meant to be just a one-off thing, but I think this was a pretty cool show. So we got to do this again.
You've been a great host. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. Okay, folks. Well, that's it. If you're coming tomorrow, I still think we should advocate for getting there early, because as Evie was saying, it's going to be pretty busy. I think we're at 8 or 9 tickets left for Anfield Wrap. I can't emphasize enough, we cannot hook anyone up later on. So please, link in the bio on our Instagram. You can go buy your tickets directly. 2 big Red Days coming up as well. Matches coming every couple of days. It's going to be an epic March. Happy March 1st to everyone, and we shall see you soon. Up the Reds.
Up the Reds.
Up the Reds.
Tomorrow,
Up the
guys.
Reds.
Bye.